Hi, in this short video, I'm going to show you how to take a Photoshop image and turn it into a fully working website using a new Photoshop plugin called Webbsy. Let's get started. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to open up a Photoshop image that I've created earlier. It's called Sample Webbsy Site. As you can see, it's a fairly simple Photoshop image. It's got some title text, it's got a box that goes around that text, it's got a header background image, it's got some body text, and it has a logo folder group that contains logo text and the circle that is the background for that logo. In order to let Webbsy know that a layer or layer group should be exported, we just name it so that it starts with a hash. For example, we're going to take this title text and we're going to name it hash title. You'll notice that looks like a lot like a CSS selector, which is actually done on purpose. In this case, we've selected a Photoshop text layer for export. Webbsy automatically knows that that's a text layer and will export it as HTML text with CSS styling. You'll also notice that that text has a drop shadow effect on it. Webbsy also knows that that effect is there and it will export it appropriately in the HTML and the CSS. We're going to then rename this box that goes around that title to hash box. That will let Webbsy know that that box should be exported. Because it's a simple box, that will just be exported as is a div in the HTML and the CSS. There's also a header background image that we want to export. So we're going to rename that hash header dash background. You'll notice that I took out the space in the layer name, and that's because HTML and CSS do not allow spaces in their identifiers. And so basically when we rename the layers, we're going to make sure that there's no spaces in the layer name. We're also going to rename this text layer. And at the top of the layer list, you see a logo layer group that contains these two separate layers inside of it. We actually, in this case, only want to export a single image for both of these layers. And so we're just going to rename the layer group itself, and we're not going to rename the individual layers inside of it. So now that we've renamed all the layers, all we have to do is run Webbsy. We go to the File menu, Scripts, and Webbsy PSD to HTML converter. You'll notice that the interface for Webbsy is really simple. It's basically one giant button that says Build. We'll click that button. Webbsy will slice up all the images, grab all the text, and when we're all done, it will open up the folder that contains all the generated files for you. You'll notice that the header background image.png file has been created, and there is a logo image that's also created. In order to look at the actual website that's been created, we'll just double click index.html. And you'll notice that the generated HTML file is very, very much like the Photoshop image that we've just looked at. So that's our tutorial. We hope you enjoyed it. Please go to our website, webbsy.com, and you can download a free trial version of Webbsy so that you can see how easy it is to use. We really think that you'll love it as much as we love creating it. Thanks a lot.